in addition to all your great viewers, Beyonce is watching, and she's got tissue paper thin skin and was very deeply offended, Paul, that we had a discussion not recognizing Queen Bey as the new ruler of country music, that we might have had a couple of doubts about whether she would revolutionize this genre that's been around for a long time before she decided to stick her toe into it. And she decided to take that clip and parlay it into her victimhood, how people have doubted her as she becomes the country queen.
So Beyonce's out here just living her life, fresh off an Americana denim campaign, wrapping up that massive Cowboy Carter tour, and boom, suddenly, every conservative talking head on TV decides it's open season on her. From Piers Morgan dragging out the tired Marilyn Monroe comparisons, to Megyn Kelly throwing shade and calling her a clown without actually saying the word, to others accusing her of riding Jay-Z's wallet, the shots are flying non-stop.
Opposite of Sydney Sweeney's ad, quite clearly there is nothing neutral about Beyonce. Everything from her image to her fame to her success to her look below is bought and paid for. Screams artificial, fake, enhanced, trying too hard.
Who said that?
Megyn Kelly.
But here's the thing. Beyonce doesn't just let that slide. She flips the whole narrative into her visuals and stage design. And you better believe Mama Tina wasn't about to stay quiet either. But this little fixation Megyn has, it didn't just pop up because of Levi's or denim campaigns. Nah, it runs way deeper. The more you connect the dots, the more it looks like Megyn's turned her Beyonce hate into a full-blown side hustle. Some even say an obsession. And trust me, once you see how far back this thing really goes, you'll never look at Megyn's "I'm just asking questions" routine the same way again. This drama is about to get heated. No, scratch that. It's already boiling over. Just imagine it. Beyonce on her world tour, the stage glowing, the crowd losing their minds, lights hitting her just right, and then, boom! On the jumbo screen, a familiar face shows up. Not Jay-Z, not Blue Ivy, nope. It's Megyn Kelly herself looking salty and pressed. Beyonce literally ran a clip of Megyn talking slick about her right there for the whole world to watch. Was it petty? Maybe. Was it genius? Absolutely! In the footage, Megyn's whining about Beyonce stepping into country music like it's some sacred pond only she can fish in, and of course, she made sure to keep it coated in that white-only vibe. Most people would have just ignored the shade and kept it pushing. But Beyonce? Nah, she said. Cool, let's turn it into part of the show. And the crowd went wild, laughing, booing, and cheering all at once. It was a moment, and how did Megyn Kelly respond? Total meltdown mode. On her own show, she suddenly flipped into victim mode, crying that the untouchable Queen Bey was bullying her. Can you believe that? She even called Beyonce tissue paper thin-skinned and accused her of putting her victimhood on parade for the world to see. Crazy part is, Beyonce never even crowned herself as some ruler. Queen Bey is just a nickname the fans gave her. But Megyn wasn't done. Oh no, she kept going. She had the nerve to accuse Beyonce of chasing clout while she's literally replaying the same clip over and over for her own ratings. That's like setting your house on fire and then sending the neighbors a bill for smoke damage. And Megyn claiming Beyonce had to scour the internet to dig up her critique? Please. Sis, you've been tossing shade at this woman for years. Beyonce didn't have to search. You hand-deliver that hate like it's Amazon Prime same-day delivery. And the real gag? The clip Beyonce played wasn't even one of Megyn's worst rants. Yet here she is, milking the whole Queen Bey attacked me storyline like it's her golden ticket. Meanwhile, Beyonce's unbothered, twirling on stage, dancing in sync, racking up stadium-sized checks and keeping the art alive. But while B's floating above it all, Mama Tina, oh, she's loading up heavy artillery. Tina Knowles hit Instagram with a post so sharp it might as well have been dipped in straight hot sauce. Hot sauce in her bag, swag! Tina came swinging. She clapped back saying Beyonce has always given back to her community, never once using someone else's name to chase attention. She pointed out Beyonce never tears people down for their looks, talent, or character. She minds her own damn business. And then came the line that set the internet on fire. If she helped you stay relevant or get your name in the press, you're welcome. Boom! Now Tina didn't drop a name, but when the shoe fits, Megyn might as well lace it up tight. Tina's no stranger to pulling rank for her kids. She's been on the front lines forever, shutting down lies and celebrating wins with the same fire. Defense or offense, she plays it like a pro, and this was no different. And you could tell this wasn't about a denim collab or some Levi's photo shoot. This was about years of shady digs, coded comments, and people trying to use Beyoncé's name as their shortcut to clout. The way Tina handled it was pure artistry. No cussing, no screaming, just cold, hard facts with a side of slick shade, and she walked off like a boss. But here's the twist. Beyoncé actually has to keep her mama in check sometimes. Tina admitted on the Sibling Revelry podcast that she'll post like 25 videos back to back and then gets that call, "Mama, can you not post so much? You're doing too much." Tina laughed it off, admitting she's always front row, screaming, recording, and living her best life, watching not just Beyoncé, but also her grandbabies Blue Ivy and Rumi lighting up that stage. Don't let that grandma vibe fool you. Tina's been clocking superstar energy in Beyoncé since she was just 7 years old. She told Glamour how little shy B stepped on stage for a talent show and instantly flipped into a whole new person. Lights on, star mode activated. So when Piers Morgan or any other talking head tries to come for her daughter, best believe Mama Knowles is ready to clap back like, "Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation." But here's the question. How did we end up with this sudden wave of people dragging Bey through the mud this summer? Well, it kicked off with a whole different star, Sydney Sweeney. She popped up in an American Eagle campaign built around the pun, "good genes." Cute wordplay, right? Not so fast. A lot of people weren't laughing. Folks quickly noticed the narration played up her blonde hair and blue eyes. And suddenly the internet was side-eyeing the ad with talk of eugenics vibes. Think pieces started dropping faster than TikTok dances, and words like Eurocentric and tone deaf were trending heavy. Even American Eagle had to scramble, posting, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes. It's not always about the genes, her story. Great genes look good on everyone." Translation, total PR cleanup mode.
Nothing, we weren't trying to be racial at all, whatever the case may be. But anyway, so Megyn Kelly gets online because Beyonce posts her photo and her good genes. And Megyn Kelly says this is opposite of what Sydney Sweeney's ad. This is opposite of Sydney Sweeney's ad. Quite clearly, there is nothing neutral about Beyonce. Everything from her image to her fame to her success to her look below is bought and paid for.
But then it got messy. Real messy. Conservatives jumped in to defend Sydney, brushing off the backlash like people were overreacting, calling it all noise. And that's where things started to shift. Because once they lined up behind Sydney, the conversation wasn't just about her anymore. It opened the door for them to start taking shots at Beyoncé too. "It's just a jeans ad. Y'all are overreacting," they said. But fast forward, Beyoncé drops her Levi's Americana campaign, denim on denim, pulling up on a motorcycle serving pure boss energy, and suddenly, those same conservatives lose their minds. Megyn Kelly calls it artificial, fake, and trying too hard. Others accuse her of acting white and even appropriating white culture. And of course, Piers Morgan just had to bring out the tired Marilyn Monroe comparisons again. Funny thing though, when Sydney shows up with blonde hair, blue eyes, and denim, it's iconic. But when Beyoncé does it, suddenly it's treated like a national emergency. Let's keep it real. The only thing that's different here is the skin tone. The double standard couldn't be louder. Black women are expected to be flawless, original, and humble all at once, while white women get applause and stock boosts for doing the exact same thing. And this isn't just hypocrisy, it's a whole pattern. A pattern Megyn Kelly has been feeding off for years. So if you thought Beyoncé's Clapback was just about one campaign, think again. Megyn's fixation on her runs way deeper than Levi's. That ad wasn't the beginning of a feud. It was just the latest chapter in a fight Megyn's been shadowboxing for a long time. And once you dig into her history, that pattern becomes way too clear. Megyn can't keep Beyoncé's name out of her mouth. Megyn Kelly has built her whole brand around running her mouth about race, black culture, and especially black women's place in America like it's some God-given assignment. Yes, This is the same woman NBC had to fire after she went live on air asking, "But what's racist about blackface?" She literally said, "When I was a kid, that was okay, as long as you were dressing as a character." And even NBC couldn't shield her after that disaster. She was out. But don't get it twisted, that wasn't a rookie slip-up. Megyn's got a history. She's been out here saying Jesus was white, Santa was white, and even once reduced Michelle Obama to Obama's baby mama on air. She defended cops slamming black teens to the ground, pushed the thug mentality stereotype, and when Michelle Obama spoke out about discrimination, Megyn brushed it off as a so-called culture of victimization, calling the US a cupcake nation. And yet, somehow, she still gets framed as a serious journalist, all while tearing into Beyoncé's artistry, calling her fake and a clown. Girl, bye. The irony doesn't stop there. In her 2025 comeback tour, she came after Jimmy Kimmel and Sarah Silverman for old blackface skits, suddenly playing morality police.
I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry.
After making some controversial comments earlier this week on her morning show, Megyn Kelly's career at NBC News is in limbo.
So there was a controversy on The Real Housewives of New York with Luann as she dressed as Diana Ross and she made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that that was racist. And I don't know, I felt like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day. I don't know how that got racist on Hollywood.
Wild, considering she was the same one defending blackface on national TV back in 2018. Now she's flipping the script, acting like she's the victim, crying about being unfairly canceled, and pointing fingers at everyone else as the real problem. The audacity is unreal. And this right here is why Megyn's attacks on Beyoncé hit so personal. Beyoncé isn't just another star, she's a whole cultural institution, one of the most powerful and successful black women alive. And for someone like Megyn, who's built her career pandering to white grievance politics, tearing Bey down is just an easy way to feed the same audience that once cheered when she claimed Jesus is white and Santa is white. So when Megyn sees Beyoncé rocking a cowboy hat, leaning into Americana, headlining stadiums, and even putting Megyn's face into her visuals, of course she loses it. And trust, this was never really about denim, country music, or even Sydney Sweeney. This is about a long-running obsession with undermining black women who refuse to shrink themselves for anyone. But wait! It gets even more ridiculous. As if Megyn's digs weren't enough, Piers Morgan just had to crash the party. He jumped on X with a post whining that he was very disappointed to see Beyoncé culturally appropriating Marilyn Monroe in her new Levi's campaign. The dramatics. Let's set the scene. Beyoncé's ad is pure denim fantasy. A laundromat moment, a diner shift, a Canadian tuxedo, even a game of pool. Yes, her hair had a touch of Monroe-inspired glamour. But cultural appropriation? Please. One fan clapped back perfectly, saying, "Marilyn Monroe is not a culture. She's a public figure and a pop icon. Emulating her aesthetic is no more cultural appropriation than a British man dressing like James Dean." Exactly. Beyoncé channeling Monroe was an homage, something white celebrities have done to black icons for decades without ever facing backlash. Boy, the internet wasted no time dragging Piers. Fans were posting side-by-sides of him cheesing with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, if you know Epstein-level messy, the hypocrisy was wild, because when Madonna cosplays Josephine Baker or when Gwen Stefani borrows from Chaka Khan, everybody calls it artistic influence. But the second Beyoncé, a black woman, flips white Hollywood imagery, suddenly it's fake and forced. And here's the real kicker. Marilyn Monroe's entire image was manufactured. The blonde bombshell look was bought, dyed, and styled. The same way Beyoncé's been rocking blonde hair as her signature since the Destiny's Child days. But when Bey does it, the outrage hits maximum volume. The double standard is screaming, and when the Bayhive swarmed him, Piers folded like a cheap suit. He backpedaled hard, claiming, "I can't believe anyone took my obvious Beyoncé joke post seriously, but I forgot the woke brigade has no sense of humor. Nah, sir, that wasn't a joke. That was a bad take you tried to bury in witness protection, and the timing, even shadier. This came right after Sydney Sweeney's denim ad got showered in right-wing love letters. Even Donald Trump himself hyping it as the hardest ad out there. Yet Beyoncé does a Levi's collab, and suddenly it's a crisis. The hypocrisy couldn't be louder if it had its own marching band. But here's where it gets powerful. Beyoncé stays cool, handling critics through her art. Meanwhile, Mama Tina, she rides shotgun, and when she speaks, it's bigger than defending her daughter. She's defending Black culture itself. That's why her words hit different. She tags you without tagging you and lets the public connect the dots. Her viral line, "If she helped you stay relevant or get your name in the press, you're welcome," wasn't just shade. It was an industry red. Tina's been in the game long enough to know how many careers got padded by having Beyoncé's name in the headline. And in that recent Forbes interview, she made it crystal clear. This is bigger than denim ads. This is about power, respect, and legacy. Tina laid it out plain. Black mothers aren't just raising kids, they're building whole infrastructure. She shared how she did hair out of necessity to keep the family afloat, how she stayed up late sewing costumes, and how that grind turned into businesses like House of Dairy On. Legacy moves that shaped her family forever. Entrepreneurship shaped me as a mother by giving me confidence and the knowledge that I could financially care for my children, Tina said. Being a mom didn't hold her back. It fueled her to succeed and leave behind a blueprint of generational wealth. She broke it down even further. Black caregiving mothers lose an estimated $300,000 in lifetime earnings due to systemic inequities. That's why Tina pushes for financial planning, community unity, and Black women taking up space unapologetically. She stressed how mothers need to be vocal about their contributions and refuse to stay invisible. There is power in numbers. So, when you've watched your daughter face decades of racially coded attacks, you're not about to let some cable news relic rewrite the narrative. That's why Tina's social media clapbacks hit so hard. She's called out trolls without hesitation, and she admitted, "My kids are like, Mom, don't answer those crazy people, just ignore them." But sometimes it just gets to be too much. And I have to say what I have to say. Especially when you mess with my grandchildren, I'm coming for you, period. Black women are often pressured to swallow pride and soften their voices, but Tina flips that script every time. She knows exactly when to lean in and lay down the law, not with rage, but with unstoppable clarity and purpose. And here's where Megyn Kelly fits in. Her fixation on Beyoncé didn't start with Levi's. Megyn has built a whole persona around telling it like it is, weaponizing her platform as a white woman to tear into powerful Black figures, especially women. And Beyoncé, she's the biggest cultural prize Megyn could ever chase. But here's where it backfires. Every single time Megyn takes a swing, Beyoncé just folds it into the art, flipping it into visuals, performances, and moments that the world will never forget. Beyoncé's mastered the art of flipping shade into showstoppers, weaving nods to her critics right into the performances. She takes the outrage and turns it into visuals that live forever. And now, with Blue Ivy already holding her own on stage and Rumi starting vocal lessons, Tina's not just defending her daughter anymore. She's building a fortress around the next generation of Knowles Carter women. So when Beyoncé teases her mama with, "Can you not post so much?" it's not just a cute family joke. It's a glimpse into how intentional they are about protecting the brand, the artistry, and the legacy of the women behind it all. Megyn can keep tossing bait, and Piers can keep clowning with his corny jokes, but the double standards always expose themselves in the end. The Knowles Carter camp has one rule. They control the narrative. They stay cozy in their own skin, while Tina keeps flipping every headline into a clapback and every dig into a history lesson. So now the real question is, are people finally ready to hear it for what it is? Is Megyn's critique really journalism or just an obsession dressed up as commentary? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I need to know what y'all think about this mess. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and tap the bell so you never miss the next deep dive. I'll catch you in the next one.